We have three goals for the call. The first goal is to communicate our flash plan, flash removal plan for our next release that we're calling UIM 20.3. You may know that our naming convention has changed for release numbers. 20 indicates the calendar year, and 3 indicates the calendar quarter. So 20.3 means calendar year 2020, third quarter. We'll also announce, and shortly I will paste in the chat window, a link for you to register for a Bright Talk session that will use the same content, but we may go into additional details. By that I mean Ashish is going to talk to some slides today. He won't read all the content because we do want to allow some time to field questions and answers, or field your questions and provide some answers. To do that, use the Q&A panel. If you are familiar with WebEx, you'll see a Q&A window. You can open up that window and you can ask your questions in that window. And then when Ashish is done, we'll start to answer those questions. As my last slide is a disclaimer slide. We are talking about a future release of software, and as you know, in our business, things can change. However, our intent is to deliver the content that Ashish is about to present to you. With that, Ashish, I'm going to make you presenter and take it away. Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you, Steve. Good day, everyone. People who have joined live and probably will be looking into the recording as well. So like mentioned by Steve, so today I'll be talking about how within UIM we are planning to cure Flash. As we know, by end of this calendar year, Flash is going to get deprecated from all the major browsers, and this impacts UIM as well. So want to make sure that we convey what our plans look like and how we want to optimally cure Flash from the product. Okay, so that being said, so this is like preaching the choir here as well. So today in UIM, we have multiple user interfaces like Unified Management Portal, Admin Console, Operator Console, and IM. So primarily the interface which is getting impacted by Flash is the Unified Management Portal. It comprises a bunch of portlets, and most of them are based on Flash, but there are a bunch of them which are also non-Flash. Okay, so in the coming slides, I'll talk about how we are planning to mitigate or cure Flash in the product. So to do that, the release in which we are targeting to cure Flash is UIM 20.3. Like mentioned by Steve already, it's calendar year with the quarter. Okay, so that release, what we see will be zero Flash, and the key changes there, if you have noticed, is we will be deprecating UMP, and the functionalities or portlets which are there in UMP is either going to get migrated or ported as is onto the operator console, or existing functionality which exists today in operator console, because that is one user interface which we introduced way back since UIM 902 as our mitigation for Flash, which is zero Flash, HTML5, React-based user interface. We have been continuously enhancing them interface, and you'll see that is going to be the key interface for all the operator level personas, and that's where most of the UMP functionality is going to be ported, migrated, enhanced with UIM 20.3. That being said, so we all have Admin Console, which is a web-based interface for administrator level persona use cases, and then IM GUI, the thick client. So there's no change planned as such in these two interfaces. that will remain as such, as is. So in UIM 20.3, the key focus is around curing flash, and while we are curing flash, we see this as an opportunity to improvise operator console, not in terms of functionality, but as well as in terms of performance. And then there are a bunch of other enhancements which are planned in UIM to make sure the user experience is top-notch when we remove flash from the product. Since flash is impacting the UMP, so there is no change expected in the installation of the product. So you'll continue using the same admin console or IAM as is, okay, for installation, and we are continuing to support all the 3 installation types: GUI mode, console, and silent. No impact on the installer as such. The key changes are going to happen from this slide on. Like, one of the key functionality is account admin portlet, that is part of the user management. So that is getting ported onto the newer operator console. So the operator console is going to be the user interface for user management. The way we are planning is that the same functionality what exists today in account admin portlet will be ported as is onto the operator console. What does this mean is we'll continue supporting both account contact users and bus users as is. Currently today, if you have all been using or have explored operator console until UIM 20.1, so there's just single ACL which is governing the whole functionality. So that is what we are going to enhance as well while we are porting the user management functionality. So ACLs is going to govern all the functionality which is getting added, enhanced, or ported onto the operator console. Our goal is to that your users and accounts will work as is when you upgrade from a previous UIM release to UIM 20.3. Similarly, for group management, we already have a group management functionality in operator console, and we'll continue supporting all the group types like container, dynamic, static, interface groups for network monitoring as is. So we plan to bridge the gap in terms of functionality around group management, what's available today on USM, to that on operator console. So you'll see there are around 12 functionalities which are captured in tech docs available today in USM, and that will be available onto the operator console once UIM 20.3 is released. Another key functionality available on UMP is discovery. That's kind of a first step once a product is installed and someone starts onboarding devices. Okay, so that functionality will be available on the operator console as is. So when I say as is, this means the backend is not changing. The discovery probe will remain as is. What is going to change is the wizard that's going to get recreated onto the operator console, and the navigation would remain same in the same context. Today, if you are doing through your discovery or scheduling your discovery through the inventory view, that will remain as is even if we port it to the operator console. Another key functionality within UMP is the USM view, and within that, the way we understand, our users love triaging while navigating through the tree view. So we are planning to add a similar tree view functionality onto the operator console as well. As you have already probably know, in operator console, we have tried to simplify the operator persona usage in terms of whether it's a group context or a inventory context, that is a device context. So for both of these contexts, a tree would be added similar to what we have on USM. The screen you are seeing on your top right is one of the foreseen screen you'll expect when UIM 20.3 would be released. So there'll be an group level tree the way it's available today on USM, which is enriched or decorated with the alarms, and the alarm severity goes bubbled up from down to a device to device group to a top level container group, and the actions which will be available for each group will be context driven. So on the top right you'll see context sensitive actions that will be available for user to take for the context he is in. One of the bigger change which is happening for good in UIM 20.3 is around monitoring configuration. So we are continuing with our vision of zero touch configuration, what we started based on MCS. So we're taking this as an opportunity to simplify that process by introducing a setup wizard based monitoring configuration where users would be able to configure monitoring by minimum clicks. Like our target is 3 to 4 clicks for different kind of technologies they would like to monitor, whether it's monitored using a local probe or a remote probe or for say virtual devices. So there'll be a simplified view based on the enhanced template which we introduced as part of UIM 902 that will be powering this new setup wizard based configuration. So what comes with enhanced templates is alarm policies, which offer centralized alarming and thresholding capability, which customers are liking, who have started exploring those since UIM 902. So we'll be continuing with that. So as soon as user configures this monitoring configuration using setup wizard, there'll be default alarm policies created for that technology or different groups like device or say group context, and that will help you for quicker time to value in terms of your monitoring and thresholding configuration. And to support that as in, so based on the feedback what we have got with UIM 20.3, we have planned to enhance the coverage of enhanced templates. So today MCS templates are supported by more than 40 probes. So, and out of which around 28 probes today support enhanced template, that is alarm policies. So in order to unify the configuration experience, so we plan to add another 15 probes from the same MCS template list captured on the right side of your screen, which is we plan to add with UIM 20.3. So with 20.3, there will be more than 40 probes which today support legacy templates will have enhanced template as well. So you'll be able to configure using setup wizard and also get alarm policies for them. One other functionality is maintenance scheduling, which is critical for any infrastructure monitoring. So that user interface is also will get ported from UMP to the operator console. So user will be able to schedule its maintenance as before. And the key thing is while we are porting or recreating or enhancing the functionality on the operator console, like maintenance scheduling in this case, we are making sure the same ACLs are applicable for that functionality. So what does that mean is even when you upgrade from a previous release to a new release, so same users with same permission level will work as is for your deployment. Since we are porting that onto the newer screens, that is say operator console, there will be definitely some change in the navigation. So, but we're trying to minimize and make it intuitive. Say example, maintenance scheduling will be available in the group context-based navigation, the way users were doing today, scheduling maintenance from a node from a group or at a global level. So same thing will be available onto the operator console as well. One of the key enhancements what we are planning to do in UIM 20.3 is to introduce or enhance the metric viewer, which is available today in Operator Console. So which will help users to see the different matrices across the probes or monitor technologies for a chosen device context together in a multiple layout or views. It could be tile view, it could be line view. And to ease the selection of matrices, we plan to enhance the filtering based on various criteria, and the navigation would be based on CI like tree, which you are seeing on the right side. So that and user will be able to not only save the views, okay, for future visibility, but also be able to export or schedule reports to be exported, something similar to PRDs. And while we plan to retire PRD from the product, so we see metric viewer is going to replace that functionalities for you. So PRD is a flash-based functionality which we plan to retire from UIM 20.3 in favor of metric viewer. Another functionality which we plan to enhance in or to say bridge the gap between what's available on USM versus on Operator Console is alarm management. So as you see from the screenshot below, that's the alarm console which is available on USM today. So it has bunch of functionalities which customer has been using in terms of filtering of alarms, sorting, able to take actions, or apply custom attributes, map those custom attributes, able to view historical alarms. So we plan to enhance the alarm management console available on Operator Console today to bridge that functionality. So as you can see on the top screen, so we plan to enhance the view of alarm management so that user can able to filter the way they want intuitively based on various alarm attributes, say origin or probe or host, severity, just to name a few, or any custom field or user tags. And then the complete view would be linked to that filtering, and you'll be able to take actions, whether at a single alarm level or bulk actions if someone wants to take. So that will be available with UIM 20.3. So once this new UIM 20.3 is released with the new alarm management console, we are pretty sure that you won't miss any of the alarm management functionality in what's available today in USM versus that would be there on the Operator Console. In terms of dashboarding and reporting, even with UIM 20.3, we are continuing with our default dashboarding and reporting tool, which is based on CA Business Intelligence. That is nothing but Jaspersoft. So we'll continue to support out-of-the-box dashboards and reports based on CABI. And another dashboarding functionality which exists today with UIM is dashboard portlet, which is a HTML5 based portlet, not dependent on Flash. So we plan to port it as is onto the Operator Console. So what does that mean is, once in case you have created your custom dashboards based on dashboard portlet, so you can export and import that back onto the Operator Console or dashboard portlet onto UIM 20.3, and they'll work as is in terms of design and look and feel. So it is the same functionality which is getting ported. But one thing which will get deprecated with UIM 20.3 is the list reports. That's a Flash-based functionality to generate tabular reports like List Designer or List Viewer, which users have been using. And we expect customers to create their custom reports or using CABI. So we already have a custom report functionality. So in case you want to preempt your custom report creation, even before release of UIM 20.3, users can start creating their dashboards and reports even today using Jaspersoft, that is CABI, so that once UIM 20.3 is available, users can upgrade seamlessly. Another functionality which is we plan to recreate on operator console is the service level management. So user will be able to create their SLAs, define SLOs as before. In case you have already created your SLA reports based on the defined SLOs, so you will be able to export from a previous release and import those back onto the operator console. So there's a minimum upgrade impact once someone moves from previous release to the latest UIM 20.3 release when that is released. So our idea is there should be a minimum upgrade impact when customers move from a previous UIM release to UIM 20.3, which is our flash free release. Then there are a bunch of other portlets which are available, like eco-media administration for data center monitoring solution, what we have as part of UIM. So that will be ported as is onto the operator console. And then if customers are using SNMP collector, for that they have been doing self-certifications, even that portlet will be recreated as part of the operator console. So while we are making operator console as the key user interface for UIM from UIM 20.3, so we understand that there are a bunch of non-functional requirements that we will be able to provide, and the key is being the way UMP today supports load balancing. So with 20.3, even operator console will support multi-instance for load balancing. It will be deployed on the same UMP hub as before, but there will be no UMP, and there will be option to configure HA as well. In order to meet the concurrency need, so we plan to baseline the concurrency for operator console as well. So this means currently how many users are concurrently accessing a user interface. As of now, just to give you some idea, we are benchmarking it for 50 concurrent users, but a number of users can go to in hundreds, as in there's no limit as such. But the concurrent users which we are benchmarking for 50, you can mention in the chat window if you think you have more concurrent users together, so we can take that as a feedback to improvise in that area. So operator console will support data protection as before, since in UIM the tenancy is based on origin, so it will adhere to those origins as well. And while we are enhancing the functionality in operator console, we are making sure that third-party libraries used within the operator console are also up to date, so that there's no foreseen vulnerabilities. So we'll be addressing those as well while we are enhancing operator console. So once UIM 20.3 is released, what we see is that UIM 20.3 is going to a major release. So what does that mean, as in? So when I say a major release, so there will be an option for a fresh install. So in case if someone wants to do a new greenfield UIM installation, so the user will be able to do that. But in case you are on a previous release and you want to upgrade, so there's a direct upgrade path from 9.x releases and the latest 20.1 release to 20.3. And in case you are on a release prior to 9.02, so first you have to land on any of the current releases what we have, because they have a bunch of architectural and schema level changes being done in release 9.02 onward, and then you'll be able to upgrade to 20.3 seamlessly. So what we recommend is, in case you are on any of the previous 8.x release, you can utilize this time to upgrade to a more current release, so that once 20.3 is released, it will be a simpler upgrade in the interest of time. So just to summarize, before we open to Q&A, within UIM, so the project scope for 20.3 is around enhancing the operator console in terms of user account management, MCS improvements, and around monitoring tab which there in USM that needs to be. We plan to simplify that with the setup wizard based configuration, and there will be support for both legacy and enhanced template. Then improve the inventory management and group management aspects, enhance the alarm management, and metric viewing capabilities on operator console, and then dashboards and reports through Cabby. And then I talked about some of the non-functional requirements like multi-instance support. That's what we're planning to do. So the key takeaway from this talk should be like once 20.3 is released, so there will be no UMP as we plan to retire UMP. So this means implicitly they will be removing the library portal as well from the product. There's no change expected in admin console and IAM GUI. They'll work as is 20.3, the same functionality or user flows which you have been following on any of these UI, so they'll work as is. But operator console is going to become a key portal for your operator persona use cases, which I talked about in my previous slides. Some of the key timelines, we are already in May, so it's already under development. We have all done with the planning. We kicked off our sprints, and we are currently under development. We plan to GA that by September. So idea is users should have enough time to upgrade before the production phase kicks in, or the end of December, the wall which we all are facing together. And we'll be able to provide start some customer validation with chosen few customers starting August. So it's a time box release. It's all hands on the deck from the UIM side, and we are pretty confident to meet these timelines to make sure that the release is available for you to plan your upgrades in an optimum manner. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.